After 2 years of getting dicked down by Modern Horizons 2 cards, its dominance may finally be coming to an end. Praise Jesus, because this set was the worst thing to happen since Poopy Time Fun Shapes. Despite overrunning the metagame, there have been 0 cards banned for Modern Horizons 2, which makes sense because Modern Horizons 2 was such a disaster that to fix it, you'd have to ban 20 or 30 cards from Modern. Now, having powerful cards isn't inherently wrong. We've seen powerful cards go on to become Modern staples. Why Horizons 2 was such a disaster is because in 2 years since its release, there have been no new cards printed that have reshaped the metagame. The few cards that do see play are really meant to find you your Horizon cards, and really only function to support archetypes that Modern Horizons 2 has already created, and frankly do nothing. Because Magic sets are designed 2 years in advance, the only logical conclusion is that the morons that designed standard sets did not communicate at all with the morons designing Modern Horizons 2. Were shield counters supposed to make a difference? Were battles supposed to change the status quo? No, all these themes are irrelevant and tone deaf. Sure, there are cards like Halo Armite that seem designed to stop Urza Saga, but then when we stop and think about it, why would they print this card to stop Urza Saga if you can find it with Urza Saga? All they did was make Urza Saga more powerful. But there is more hope now than ever. Because cards are designed 2 years in advance, every card we see printed from here on out were designed after Modern Horizons 2 cards had already reshaped the metagame. The very first card printed to directly challenge the Modern Horizons 2 metagame changes is already here, and her name is Gina. If you've never seen Gina before, she might seem a little stanky, but Gina is actually amazing. I cannot stop thinking about Gina. For 2 mana, we get a 2/2 that says when it enters exile opponent's graveyard, this first ability is super important because Horizons 2 packed the metagame full of graveyard decks that depend on winning game 1 by not seeing a single graveyard hate card. Gina is very main deckable because of her second ability, which says sacrifice Gina. Humans you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Having both indestructible and hexproof is extremely important now that removal has become so diverse. There's board wipe, especially with Furry, but also bounce, as well as exiling with Solitude and Prismatic Ending, so Gina is very useful against a wide variety of threats. Now the next question is, where is the best home for Gina? The first place we should look is 5-color humans, a deck that Daddy's certainly passionate about. Back at the end of 2017, Daddy and the Big Boys birthed the second in the world, and by 2018, our masterpiece became the most played deck in the modern metagame, including the most played deck in the modern Pro Tour that year, so very popular as you can tell from these outrageous prices. When designing humans, the idea was to use Champion, Valley's Lieutenant, and Mantis Rider as threats, which were very good at dodging Lightning Bolt, which at the time was the only removal to worry about. But to support these threats, the deck had Disruption. Kitesail Freebooter could steal a card from hand, alongside Meddling Mage, naming a card that opponent can't play. This was super important in the deck taking off, because at the time the most played deck was Storm, and shutting off the combo was really big. Nowadays, 5-color humans is pretty much unplayable. The deck is designed to win with big buffed up creatures, but a 6/6 Champion is not that threatening, because removal today can take care of it easily. So this version of 5-color humans, absolutely unplayable. But fret not, my big boys. Daddy's mission to redesign humans into a top tier deck. Once again, we have Meddling Mage and Mantis Rider, but the rest of the deck looks very different. We have 18 humans in total, but not every creature is a human. We have Scion, to give our blue humans hexproof, and this Kavu, a 5/5 at turn 2. And this raises the question, is the deck still a tribal deck if not every creature belongs to that tribe? And now the thing we have to remember is that tribal decks do not want to be restricted, but oftentimes they have to. With Champion of the Parish, we needed a lot of humans, or else Champion would just be a 1/1. Scion does not say give blue humans hexproof, but Scion does give blue humans hexproof. The way Daddy sees it, Scion is replacing Valley's Lieutenant, and Kavu is replacing Champion. The upside is that they're strong no matter when we play them, and just like in our human deck, we have cards to support the threats. Meddling Mage is typically vulnerable, but not with Scion, and Gina to protect. To help find Gina, we have Shardless Agent with Cascade, working perfectly with General Ferrous, expert for monocolored, and we make a 4/4 whenever cast multi spell. For more Cascade, there's Bloodbraid Elf, Leyline and Tribal Flames for removal, and some fancy lands. Now for sideboard, we have another Gina, free stuff hate, targeting hate, artifact and enchantment hate, weenie hate, and our companion Juicy J. That is the deck. Now it's time to see Gina in action. If you would like to see videos with longer discussions like this, you can let Daddy know by subscribing and in the comments down below. But now off we go. Opening hand has many options for to keep. Opponent digs with Ancient Stirrings, finding Mycosynth Gardens, so they're probably a Titan deck. Play Cavern and Meddling Mage. Here's what's strange. Why would they play Ancient Stirrings in an Amulet deck? This is super risky. We'll name Timeless Lotus. There's no proof they have it, but it is something they can find with Stirrings. They play Gardens. Oh, and Shardless. We'll first swing for 2. Then we'll play Shardless, finding another Meddling Mage. This time naming Golos. We have no way of knowing if they have that card either, but why not go all in? Opponent flows 5 mana. Oh, and plays Crusty Karn. Oh, geez, putting explosives in hand. We must not like our Meddling Mages. This is extremely risky, but we won't attack Karn. Instead, play Gina to protect against explosives, and Scion, getting hexproof to these. But what will they find with Karn? That's the concern. And what, they pass? Discarding Emrakul? What? If they dug for explosives, we must have named something right. Mantis Rider time. Fourth and play Karn. Karn goes to Jesus, and then attack opponents. Opponent makes a mana. Draws. Wolf finds Gardens. And Azusa, lost but horny. It's time for us to clench. They copy Amulet. Play explosives. Will they crack it? Because if they do, and Leyline Binding. We can actually do 14 of them this turn. 1 short of lethal. So the safest option. Spank for 7. Play our general and pass. And our opponent concedes. They were no match for our Gina. Going into game 2 is bringing this risk. Having 2. Opening hand, we have 4, so we're gonna keep. Opponent plays Amulet. Only 3 more cards in hand. another force. I can already hear the cheeks clapping. Opponent digs the stirrings. Oh, and happy birthday to us is a second amulet. Land for us. And how's our opponent recover? They don't, they just pass. Scion cool. But for now, go Mantis Rider. Swing for 3. And pass our opponent. There's Azusa again. From Legacy Gardens. With no amulet to copy. Sugu will take it. And speaking of taking it, we'll spank for 6. And then send it back. They do have Timeless Lotus. That was a pretty good guess. No cards in their hand. It's too expensive to copy. But to fully crush our opponent, we'll force anyway. Play Scion. Give first strike and hexproof. Opponent goes to 5. In the face of crippling depression, there's a concede. What a great spanking to start things off. And now it's on to the next one. Opening hand's pretty good. We're gonna keep. Opponent plays Bubble. And passes. Oh, and Scion. That's pretty good. Opponent plays Rapidity. And passes. What? Land okay. We'll put out Scion. And what shall opponent do about that? Steam Benson, they dig with iteration. Opponent passes. Another Leyline Binding. Although we might want a Gina here. I think next turn might be better for Gina. We'll instead go Shardless. Binding Kavu. This for 4. And we'll pass. Opponent plays Monastery. Digs with Consider. Shoot, an Unholy Heat on our Kavu. But luckily Shardless is protected, so we can send Ravioli to Jesus. Opponent bolts us out of Sexy Repressed Rage. We're down to 7. Oh, and Kavu's so tempting here. Followed up by Leyline. But with so many cards in graveyard, they could also have Breach. So the safest option, Gina time. No graveyard for them. And then we'll pass. Opponent considers. They draw, that's a good sign. They dig with Manamorphose. Oh, and they do have Breach. But because we exiled the graveyard, there's nothing to bring back. They might have Mutagenic Growth. So we'll say Big Cox double blocks. And yep, they do. Luckily, Gina has lifelink. So we'll go back to 9. But tragically for our opponent, Kavu and Leyline Binding. What shall opponent do about that? Opponent digs. Opponent plays Sprite Dragon. And what? They swing? Sure. Play Leyline Binding. Just for 5. And come on, Tribal Flames. Oh, no Tribal Flames. Meddling Mage. We'll name Lightning Bolt. Hold up Binding and pass. Opponent digs. And opponent concedes. Going in game 2, so we're in this for us having 2. Opening hand is somewhat good, so we'll keep. Opponent plays Chandler. Oh, and Hidasugu, perfect. We'll pass. Opponent digs. And Monastery. Oh, and even a Consider. They're really going for Delirium. We take 3. And Plains is pretty good, which we might need if they have Blood Moon. We'll play the Plains and pass. Opponent digs Federation. Binding Bauble. We take 6 and they play another Chandler. Oopsie poopsies for them, because we have Hidasugu. Wiping their board and their bum bum. But with so many cards in graveyard, we'll have to pray that we survive this turn. Oh, opponent passes. And we even find Gina. This is a bit risky. Let's try for Leyline Binding now. That worked. And this is also risky. We'll play Shardless. Finding Tribal Flame, sure. Then we'll pass back. Shoot, Blood Moon. This will be difficult. But now that Hidasugu's flipping, we're still in it. Swing for 2. And what? Unholy Heat? So they don't have the... Oh, they have a lot of shards. We're just gonna flash back from graveyard. Oh, wait, opponent puts Juicy J in hand. We have one too. That's kind of dirty daddy. Get Juicy J. Swing for 2. And we'll pass. Opponent plays Juicy J. We'll play ours. Opponent plays land and passes. And tragically for our opponent, we'll first play Gina. Oh, it seems our opponent's terrified of Gina because there's a concede. Absolutely fabulous. Now on to the next match. Opening hand is most sexy. We're gonna keep. Oh, and it's a Tron deck. We'll play Meddling Mage. Hard to say what they'll find first. We'll name Little Karn and then pass it back. Opponent searches for land. Finding Viseju. What? And they have 2 of the same Tron lands, so not a great start for them. Shardless time. Finding Kavu. Swing for 2. And say back to you. Opponent cracks Chromatic Star. Digs with Ancient Stirrings. Finding their second Tron piece. Oh, another Shardless. We'll first nut for 9. Drawing a second Shardless. And now here's where things get chunky. Shardless is tempting, but our opponent might board wipe us, so the safest option, play Scion, and hold a Playland Binding. And what? They play to the Seiju? And dig for a land? What? Finding their last Tron land, but what are they gonna do to stop all this damage? Play Mantis Rider, swing out, and there's a concede. Going into game 2 is Wicked Labia with house coming 2. Opening hand could be better, but we'll keep. Opponent plays a star, and Mantis Rider, oof. Opponent cracks a star, and plays Relic, what? Oh, well, they do have a second Tron land. Oh, and Labia! What a great top deck. Opponent draws out of Sadness. Oh, a Blast Zone, and Oblivion Stone. 2 ways of destroying Labia. Oh my. Decision time. We could go Mage Leyline Binding, even though we might get caught by Blast Zone, but that will take 2 turns, or we can just go Shardless, and hope for Gina to protect. This feels kind of bad, so play Binding, taking Oblivion Stone, and draw Meddling Mage Mantis. Opponent plays land and passes. I assume we'll go for Blast Zone. Do we try for Gina here, or just Mantis Rider? I think Mantis Rider might be safer, so we'll play it. Playing for 7. And what? They both stage our Leyline? Getting back Oblivion Stone, which they could crack the board wipe. Oh, Scion, nice. We'll pretend to swing. Oh, they board wipe, what a surprise. It's Shardless time. Finding Tribal Flames, play Scion and pass. Maybe we should have gone double Shardless there, but Sion's pretty good against them. They dig with Karn. They find Haywire Might, just for the life gain because they can't kill creatures. Oh, Tribal Flames. We'll swing at them. Opponent jumps out of Sadness. They go to 3. And now we clap. Hooray. And now it's on the next banking. Opening hand, 1 Lance or Mole. And yeah, this is good. We'll keep. Oh, and it looks like Yogg. This shall be close. A second Mana Dork. And a third Mana Dork. How interesting. Playing for us. We'll first swing. Play General and pass. And what? Yogg? Luckily our General can't be targeted. And they don't have Undying creatures. Meddling Mage shoot. Shardless time. Finding Gina. wonderful. We'll swing for 4 in the air. Well, our board's looking pretty good. So unless our opponent wins this turn, we'd be looking thick like brick. Our opponent plays Cutthroat. Whenever their creature dies, they drain for 1. Uh-oh. Horde. And with a hatch, they have infinite. Yeah. We'll have to take it to game 2. Going to game 2 is we're going to hit a Sugu. Has going 2. Opening hand, we have hit a Sugu. So we'll keep. There's 1 mana dork. Oh, Meddling Mage. That's pretty good. So for now, let's go Scion. Don't play Zenkeeper. And passive. Very strange. We go Binding nice. We'll first swing. Play Mage. Maybe Court of Calling. What shall Pron do about that? Opponent plays Wall Roots. And then they pass. Another Scion. Although we could have Force. We'll test Waters and swing. What? Oh, we'll Seiju. In that case, we'll try to climb to Wall. Play a second Scion and pass. Opponent plays Geist. And what? They make a token? Instead of killing Scion? Why? Oh, that's why. But Daddy has an idea that's thick like brick. Like with Hitasugu. Swing. And play Binding. What shall Pron do now? Oh, passes. Ew, another land. In that case, swing for 2. Oh, darn, shoot. No. That's not as thinky. But Mage did buy us a lot of time. Play General. Play Juicy J in hand. They play Mana Dork. And another with 1 card in hand. Oh no, a land. In that case, we'll try for Juicy J. And then pass. So if they have Court here, they could do a lot of damage. And oh, yep, they do. Very unfortunate. And off they go. But without any undying creatures, it's not the end of the world. They pass. Oh, Bloodbraid MILF. Play the MILF. Finding Kavu. And as Derpy as it seems, we want to lower the life. So swing out. Opponent blocks like that. They go to 5. Do they have the combo? Geist, yikes. And a Patra, yep, that should do it. Daddy really should not have attacked with Meddling Mage that turn, but I didn't really think they'd keep an endurance, so our opponent takes this 1. And now on the next match. Opening hand seems alright. We'll keep. And Binding, that's okay. Opponent passes. We'll pass as well. This looks like control, but luckily for us, we have Heartless. Finding Gina. And darn, they counter our Gina. They must be terrified of them. Oh, and Juicy Jace. Filtering their hand. Since we're trapped out, we'll play Mantis Rider, taking out their Jace. What shall our opponent do about that? Oh, big Teferi. Try to squeeze our opponent. Play one Binding, but at least we still draw. Oh, General Ferrous. This for 5. Opponent takes it like my sister. Play the General. They counter. And board wipe, good for them. Oh, but Bloodbraid MILF. We'll certainly play it. Finding Kavu. Going for 3. Opponent goes to 3. They exile Kavu. Oh, and what is this? Play Mantis Rider. Mantis Rider hits. We'll go for the hits. What? They make a shark? Oh, and there's a seed. Tribal Flames would have also done it. Going into game 2, we need more Gina. Now off we go. Oh, this is really bad. We'll mull. And this is pretty good. We'll keep. We draw Heartless. Opponent passes. This probably won't work. Let's try for Scion. Scion hits. So they have to ferry. Come on, Daddy needs a land here. Darn it, not a land. So ferry sets off our Cascade. So Leyline Binding. I just hope they don't remove it. Opponent passes. Oh, land. Heartless time. Finding Tribal Flames. And both hits. What? They make a shark? Uh-oh. Charismatic ending? What? Was Heartless that threatening? Well, luckily for us, we have another. Gina for us. There's all the graveyard. Uh-oh, rest down. They prismatic ending Gina. They swing for 2. Into land perfect. We'll swing for 2. Play Kavu. Kavu hits. Play Scion. Scion hits. Does that mean they have board wipe? Oh, rest down. Killing our Kavu. Opponent passes. And we find Shardless Agent. Let's see if we'll tap the lands. Playing for 6. They make a shark token. Leyline Binding. No Sharky for them. They trade and take 4. And do we play Shardless here? Or Cindervines? Cindervines is probably more threatening. So we'll play it. And then send it back. Oh, mainland. And they prismatic ending Cindervines. Sure, they go to 7. That mainland's annoying. Oh, and they tap Scion. Alright, play Heartless. Finding Kavu. And they exile that Kavu. Kavu's having a hard day. Hard like my uncle. Opponent passes. Land, interesting. We'll try for Mantis Rider. Push in for lethal. Solitude, okay. But Mantis Rider has hexproof. We lose Scion. They go to 4. And play a second Scion. With first strike. No lifelink for them. But they swing. This is a bit sus, as the kids say. We'll say big coxable blocks. And our opponent concedes. So 4-1 overall. There we have it. The thing about Meddling Mage and Gina is that it's difficult to tell if they had an impact. Because once we put out Gina, we have no clue what cards are stuck in our opponent's hand. They can have board wipes and graveyard cards. So it might seem like Gina and Meddling Mage aren't doing anything, but they're likely doing a lot more than it seems. The good thing about humans is that they're the center of the Magic story, grounding fantasy and reality. So sooner or later, we will get good humans, hopefully replacing Kavu, and making the deck look more like a human deck. But even though we ran Mountain Horizon cards, I think ours are pretty fair. Scion and Agent are artifacts, dying easily to removal, and Kavu gets clapped by Blood Moon and Dress Down. But Daddy really likes Gina, and hopefully we see much more Gina. But let me know what you big wish think of the deck. And until next time, stay to me thick.